You would be surprised how many people don't believe you when you tell them who you are. They have this preconceived idea about who they think you are, and they try to convince you that you are who they say you are. And this scenario happens quite often for Black lesbian women. And although we are very confident in who we are, it makes other people very uncomfortable. When you say, I'm a lesbian, you don't even have to say you're a Black lesbian woman, because if they're looking at you, they see clearly that you are a Black lesbian woman. But because you are a Black lesbian woman, it's a big deal. And they can't believe it. As ridiculous as it sounds, there are some people who can't believe that Black lesbians exist. Mm-hmm. So I want to give you some brief insight on what it's like to be a Black lesbian woman. And the title of this video is 3 Ridiculous Challenges Black Lesbians Face. These reasons are not exhaustive, and I'm just going to go in chronological order. I have an article that I wrote. It's a newspaper article that I wrote some years back, and it's for a LGBTQ newspaper. It's a local Dallas newspaper, and the title of my article is A Black Lesbian Woman Misunderstood. And I give some examples of my personal experiences. So you can check it out, you can Google it. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to give you 3 ridiculous challenges. And yes, they are ridiculous because the reason why people don't accept you for who they are is because they like to control their environment, and they like to paint a picture of how they want things to be. But people are not always able to handle reality. But that doesn't mean that you should stop being your authentic self to make someone else comfortable with you. I've made some notes for myself, so I'm going to look, to my right, that may be your left, to make sure I cover these 3 ridiculous challenges that Black lesbians face. And this is from personal experience and just from me knowing other Black lesbian women and their experiences as well. It's all tied in. So, number 1, Black lesbians often have to defend or prove themselves as being gay. Black women are the only race of women who are considered to be entirely heterosexual, and they are not allowed the freedom to be fluid in their sexuality like other races of women. For example, a Caucasian, Hispanic, or Asian woman could identify as being a lesbian or bisexual woman, and she won't be questioned about her sexuality. But whenever a Black woman identifies as a lesbian, then she is immediately confronted. She is doubted, and she is denied her right to define herself as a lesbian. Unfortunately, Black culture prides heterosexuality to a fault. And I understand being proud of who you are, proud of your race, proud of your culture. And I get that. But what I don't get, what I don't condone, is when you reject someone else's identity, someone else's perspective, someone else's experience. That's very closed minded. A Caucasian or Asian or Hispanic woman, she can be any woman who is not Black and be in a group and mention that she's a lesbian, and everyone will just accept her word. But in the same scenario, a Black woman will say, I'm a lesbian. She immediately gets gawks and stares, and people begin to ask her all of these questions. Like they're in shock. They can't believe it. Like I've heard people who don't even know you say responses like, "Are you sure? What happened? Do you think that you'll meet a man one day that'll change your mind?" Hmm. That's what Black women go through. They go through that. It's like people just cannot accept that you are who you say you are. But other races of women, they do have challenges, because if you are a lesbian, we are in a heteronormative society, and there is a such thing as lesbian erasure. And that's where society omits and denies the existence and the experiences of women who are attracted to women spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and sexually. Lesbian erasure is real, and it is a huge problem. But when you are a lesbian and people attach your skin color, your race, to your sexuality and make it into even more of a complex situation where they are trying to dissuade you from being a lesbian because you are Black, it is ridiculous and it is terrible to treat Black lesbians in that way. It's ridiculous and terrible to treat any woman, whether she is a teenager, a young woman, or if she's a mature older woman. Because a woman tells you that she's a lesbian, that does not mean that she's inviting you to interrogate her. That does not mean that she's welcoming your denial of her existence. Number two, I have to be honest, Black men are very possessive and territorial regarding Black women. And you can see that all over social media. You can hear it in daily conversations amongst Black people regarding relationships between a man and a woman. In the scenario of a Black woman being a heterosexual woman, a lot of Black men are offended if a Black woman dates outside of her race. They are totally against Black women being involved in interracial dating. That's just one example. So imagine even more drama unfolds when you are a Black woman who identifies as a lesbian. Most Black men can't handle it because they feel like they almost are entitled to all Black women. So Black men, they can be very selfish and sensitive about their feelings towards Black women who are lesbians. Black men often feel entitled to having total access to Black women exclusively. Some Black men even feel like they have failed the Black community because Black women are lesbians. There's a lot to unpack there, but there are men who you can see on their face that they almost have a look of feeling defeated when they learn that a Black woman is gay. They think, well, who hurt you? No one hurt her. She is just gay. They automatically equate being gay as being hurt. That's a stigma, and it's not true. And they think that you have been in a bad relationship with a Black man and it caused you to want to be with women. So they're convinced that they can convince you to go back to men as if you were ever with men. Now, there are some lesbians who have dated and even married men because of the pressure of living in a heteronormative society. But there are lesbians who have never dated, never been involved with men at all. And there are men who are offended by it. Black men get offended by the fact that there are Black women who are not interested in men sexually, physically, and emotionally. They feel like they are losing if they cannot have the attention of all Black women. Black women are not tied by the hip of Black men. We are not required to be with only Black men. We are individuals. We have our own lives. We have our own minds. We have our own desires. We have our own purposes in life. And we have our own sexual orientations that belong to us. No one is able to take our sexual orientation away, and no one can deny who we are, because we are who we are. We are Black lesbians. We exist. And just because you are a Black man and you feel like all Black women should be with Black men does not mean that that is an accurate statement. It does not mean that that is the ideal situation. Black men need to take more time in learning Black women and learning that we have so many facets to ourselves beyond just being women who are supposed to be with men. There's more to life than having sex or being in a relationship with a person who, in this scenario, is a Black man and you're a Black woman. Number 3, the Black family construct views Black women as matriarchs and as the backbone of the family. Now, those are wonderful features and titles to hold. However, they are not entirely accurate, and they don't apply to all Black women, because Black women, they may not be mothers. And Black women don't necessarily have to be in a relationship. And especially with the Black family construct, they actually uphold heterosexuality. So when a Black woman and a Black man are together in a relationship or marriage, then they view Black women as the support, the backbone, the the helpmeet. And this is deeply ingrained in religion, as well as far back as historical figures, even as deep as slavery, because Black families are interested in Black on Black love. And anytime a woman steps outside of that construct, then she's defying the Black family. And it's looked like she has turned her back on the Black family. But Black lesbians are not responsible for the welfare of a heterosexual family, because we are not heterosexual. We are Black lesbians. And our relationship status does not determine our value. If we decide we want to be single, we're single and we're still lesbians. If we decide we want to be in a relationship with a woman, then we can do that as well. But we're not supposed to be forced, or we're not supposed to be put in this box of being the ones who keep relationships strong. I mean, two people in a relationship, they both are supposed to be in agreement of having a relationship together. And what sense does it make to try to make a lesbian woman be in a relationship with a man, a Black man, just for the sake of saying Black people need to stay together? The irony is you are actually dividing the Black family by separating Black women from the family, because Black women are diverse. We have different mindsets, we have different personalities, we have different experiences, we have different desires, and we contribute to more than just the Black family. We contribute to society as a whole. So we should not be limited in our relationships with the family. And the Black family honestly would benefit and prosper more if they would be more open-minded and accepting of lesbians, because we are a very important aspect of the family structure. We just have same-sex attraction. But that doesn't mean that we're incapable of loving our families. It doesn't mean that we're incapable of doing right by another person simply because they're a human being. But when you divide and try to control and manipulate how Black women should operate, then you are creating a serious disservice and dysfunction in not only the Black family, but society as a whole. We are not to be judged according to our sexual orientation. We should be judged according to our character. If you are interested in receiving life coaching, I am a certified lesbian life coach. It is very important that Black lesbians stick together and that we support each other and we create a community where we are embracing ourselves and learning ourselves more and more every day. And I ask that you share this video so messages such as this can reach more people, because people need to learn more about relationships and sexual orientation, because society is suffering dearly. Hearts are broken every day. People are torn apart every day over just discrimination and homophobia. Let us learn from one another and let us grow, and we'll see more benefits in our relationships with our families and our neighborhoods, which extends out to our communities and to the whole world. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. My name is Giselle Wallace. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.